Hello and welcome. I'm Limas5 and I would like to invite you to participate to an experiment.
Go ahead, Ray.
This experiment is about exploring the nature of reality, understanding its structure, understanding how we are influencing it and why. Understanding the nature of the universe, the meaning of life, is basically an absurd and unreachable goal. Except if reaching this goal doesn't matter that much more than actually enjoying the path toward this goal. Having fun simply by experimenting. That's the reason why this experiment will take place as a game, called Realotology. Realotology is a game mainly taking place in imagination, but also in the real life if you want to. Actually, you are already playing it since you start watching this video, just by asking yourself, what is this game? And by imagining an idea representing it in your mind. So let's continue imagining, and for that matter, let's imagine the best. For example, you can tell yourself this game will be a pleasant and enriching experience, maybe even an outstanding one. You could even imagine this game that you are discovering right now is so much extraordinary that you were already playing it even before watching this video, and you didn't consciously know. Said this way, it could sound surprising. So for a better understanding, please allow me to be your guide. It's my role in this game. As a storyteller, as a game master in a role-playing game, as a video game designer or director, I will give you indication. I will define the background and all the things needed for a smooth running of the game. I'll explain you the game rules, give you examples and tips so you will play this game the best possible way and you will appreciate all its deepness. Then, hopefully, you will realize that indeed, you were already playing it before watching this video. Imaginary is a potentially infinite playfield, and imagination is a wonderful tool yet often neglected. Indeed, a big part of our life takes place in our imagination. Most action we do, projects we undertake, and events we live, first birth in our imagination. When we think about past, when we are remembering, it's the imagination that reconstitutes our memories. It's the same when we think about the future, about what we are going to do or how to solve a problem. It's the imagination that allows to visualize possibilities and gives a shape to informations. Only in contemplation or in spontaneous actions the mental is set on pause. When we are focused on the present state, on our perceptions, our feeling, and when we act and observe without thinking. And yet, even when we listen carefully to someone speaking, or when we are diving into a game, a movie or a book, it's still imagination that gives shape to what we hear and see, to what it evokes, so our intellect can understand what is perceived. But in these cases, imagination is naturally and unconsciously used. What I consider to be often neglected are the possibilities a conscious use of this tool allows. The idea when you play Realotology is to place yourself in a mental construction that virtually allows to imagine absolutely everything. We have here a framework in which everything you could ever dream becomes possible. We started by imagining Realotology is truly the most extraordinary game ever. Isn't it funny to allow ourselves thinking that this game would change your life forever and you will completely get off in joy like never?
Ça vous plaît, monseigneur?
Oh, c'est le pied, mon fils, le pied.
Maybe you don't dare believing it, but this game could make you a mage, a superhero, even a god or whatever you aspire to be. Everything is possible, so, like said before, why not imagining the best? In any ways, this mental exercise, using your imagination, is useful just by the fact it will develop your brain and makes you smarter. Somehow, of course. Indeed, imagining new possibilities creates new synaptic connection and expands your neural network. You will boost your mind and have fun doing it. Just for that, isn't it a good reason to continue the adventure? However, exploring these realms, going along the boundaries between imaginary and reality, can lead to a form of madness. It matters to be conscious of this fact, and I'm serious when telling you that. This game is not meant for everyone. Don't play it if you are not sure you want to take the risk. Everyone is not ready for such a trip, unless you take it as a game, which is good because it actually is the case. Infinite possibilities. This means that the craziest theories can exist. The aliens, parallel universes, interstellar trips. We can imagine ghosts and vampires are real, as much as dragons and magic. Or maybe you're more into conspiracies with reptilians at the government, a satanic new world order. Or maybe you think a planet X will soon destroy Earth. There is place for everyone here. We can imagine glory and prestige, richness and power, sex. Else, we can project ourselves into fictional universes, participate to epic fights with a laser saber or BFG 9000, drive the famous V8 interceptor in the post-nuclear desert, or study at Pudla with Hermione Granger and Harry Potter. Be Neo or Trinity escaping the Matrix agents. Well, if all these things don't you make feel excitement, then actually it's better, as this is not exactly what Realotology is about. Well, as this game is a creation of a human living in the modern world, myself in this case, someone who grown fed by mangas, video games and role-playing games, comics and movies, Realotology is of course taking inspiration from pop culture, but also from more classical arts and literature, from sciences, spirituality and philosophy. In addition to my own life experience, for whatever it was, I will, to illustrate my ideas, refer to all these things who passionate me and built my vision of life. Some people could find this ridiculous. But I like the idea that my conception of life has not been mainly built based on religious texts, or on politics, accounting, or economic studies, or an administrative job, but was built based on fiction. I have nothing against all these things. I understand some people can enjoy this, but it's clearly not what does interest me the most in life. Realotology is a bridge between all these forms of expression and research I love. A way to create and explore the realms of the intangible and the unknown. A science of fiction and beliefs. Why a science? Because even if we will explore together crazy ideas and beliefs, we will do it in a rational way. As much as possible, because anyway it's just a game, and we can allow ourselves a bit of fantasy. By the way, I would like to say that all these ideas, even presented as universal truths, are just my own point of view inside Realotology. Sure, it may be the best game ever, but you don't have to agree to all I say. Don't forget, it's an exercise about imagining and experimenting, and just for fun. To continue on this presentation, we are going to do a little mental trip. It will help to give you an idea to what you can expect in the next Realotology's logs. A first taste of this game's potential and of the adventure we are going through. A way to prepare yourself and to wait for the following. One big advantage of this game is the ability to change your point of view on reality. To modify the filter by which you perceive your life and the world around you. To experiment a new system of belief and interpretation, simply out of curiosity and for the pleasure of discovery. Practicing this game myself, I can confirm you that it's just awesome. And you don't even have to believe me, just to imagine it's true. Like when you are watching a movie or reading a novel. Like when immersed in the Star Wars universe, the Force becomes to exist. When you accept that the characters in Interstellar can travel through a wormhole, or when you accept that the knights of the Round Table move on imaginary horses by knocking on coconuts in Holy Grail. Do you see what I mean? A little trick that I use to develop a deep listening is to repeat in my mind what I hear. It helps me to keep focus on what I'm listening, instead of having my thoughts going everywhere. It helps to be more present at what we are doing. Up to you to try this technique if it can help. Here we can do everything we want, as I told you. So let's see big, very big. Set yourself comfortable on your chair or on your couch, close your eyes and open wide your ears. Ready? Then let's go. We are going to imagine the infinite. Not something infinite, but the infinite. This includes everything we know. Ourselves, our worlds and thoughts, the world and the known universe, from subatomic levels to astrophysical forces. But also everything we don't know, everything we can imagine. At this point, it's necessary to go beyond limits of what is conceivable, to imagine something we can't apprehend in its wholeness. We just can make an abstraction of it, as we are living in a world where everything comes to an end. In our tangible reality, everything has a start and an end. However, let's imagine the infinite. And let's imagine this infinite is conscious. I am the infinite. Maybe should I say we are the infinite. In my case, it's the same. I am the ultimate consciousness, the being in which every being and all things are. I am simultaneously everything, always and never. I am both what is limited by time and space, but also outside of all limits, where these notions vanish. I am the infinite in every part of myself. My structure is both unique and fractal. I am all possibilities, all potentials, both materialized and non-existent. I am everything that exists and doesn't. I am everything to such a point that trying to describe me is pointless. I am both everything and the absence of all things. The most abyssal nothingness. I am the absolute paradox. I am infinite and so I am indefinable, as the only way to define me would be to be everything that I am, except that is impossible, as I am infinite. And yet, I am. I am. And actually, I'm a bit bored to be everything, all the time. Why not simply be just one of the elements that compose me? I will have a bit of fun by playing a game in which I pretend not to be everything. It's not really pretending, because I'm everything, and so I also am, individually, each part that composes me. But not from where I'm watching here and now, in this indefinable time and space. In this game, I, the infinite consciousness, decide to not experiment reality as the whole of all things, but as a part of the whole. To incarnate and live one of the possible experiences. By incarnate, I mean to change the point of view of my consciousness. To focus myself on one element, instead of all elements. To focus my perception, my feeling and my memory. To focus my consciousness of being what I am. Going from the omniscient to the subjective. The case we are interested in for the moment is when my consciousness decides to incarnate into a human. A weird choice indeed. To incarnate into a body which will born, live and die. A limited experience in time instead of being everything simultaneously. To incarnate in the so fragile and sensitive body that a fetus is. You can imagine that such a consciousness transfer can be traumatizing, because it means occulting most parts of what I am in order to go from the infinite to a human being. Occulting the truth to really believe in the feeling of not knowing what I am, nor from where I come, or why I'm here on this planet. To be lost in a world I don't really understand. This traumatizing incarnation produces an amnesia, and actually this amnesia is a key to not be everything anymore. I deliberately hide myself what I really am to keep focus only on a part of what I truly am. That way, I will believe I'm only this partial point of view, this specific role in the big game, and I believe the others, all what is around, is not me. This game, created by my absolute power, is so well done that it allows myself to believe it. To believe I'm only the being I'm incarnating now. And to make this game more enjoyable, I will keep the possibility to remember. I will add some clues, but more important, I will keep a system, a fundamental mechanism. The system I use is based on pleasure. My goal is to experiment just a part of myself, not the whole. So, the better I live this specific experience, the better I will feel. When I live exactly the life I'm here for, somehow it reconnects me to the memories of what I truly am, and then I remember I'm here exactly for that. And so I get pleasure and excitement. I feel with well-being the emptiness created inside me by the amnesia. When I do what I decide to do in this incarnation, then it's perfect and I feel good. Here an example. Think about Alita in Battle Angel. At the beginning, Alita has forgot her past life. She reborn somehow, starts discovering the world with curiosity, but soon she feels lost and gets bored. Then she finds an activity really enjoying her, to fight. At a point in the story she explains to another character why she is fighting. During fights, memories of her past life come back to her. When she is fighting, she really feels like herself and it brings her satisfaction. It's, I think, a good way to explain the fundamental mechanism I'm talking about. Well, I guess we can come back on Earth. For now, we will not go further, and you should already have interesting keys to start playing in your own life. You just need to start playing Realotology when you want, anytime, anywhere, and in any situations. To think about it for starters. You are in the subway, and your cell phone's battery is down. Why not playing Realotology? You are listening someone speaking and it's not interesting at all. Why not including this conversation inside Realotology and make it more interesting and fun by changing the perspective? You have some free time and spend it by ruminate about your problems, by keeping on your worries. Well, that is another good opportunity to play Realotology. So playing here means to place yourself in the skin of the infinite being which incarnated into you. What if it was true? How would I see what happens to me? What the others to think, say, how do they react and why? At the end, it doesn't matter if it's true or false. The idea is simply to have fun by observing life in a different way. And to act differently, why not? As we are free to experiment. Let's take an example. According to what we imagined before, if I do what I really love, something I came here to experience as a human, then I will feel a special satisfaction. I will feel more as being myself, because I play my role in my own game and that is exactly the reason I live this life. It's a system set to remember who I am, as my birth made me forget. In the opposite, the worse I feel in life, the greater are chances that I'm not doing what I deeply desire. I'm not talking about what my parents, my culture, or the society teach me to desire, but what is resonating inside me and fill me with joy just when thinking about it. So in order to experiment easily that in the real life, we just need to think about an activity we would really like to do. The kind of thing we never did do, but we would love to do. Or something we did do in the past, but never as much as we would love to. When we think about it, or when we see someone doing this activity, we tell ourselves, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. This is really me. For example, let's say sometime I would like to practice skateboard. I randomly found videos showing Rodney Mullen, Tony Hawk or Richie Jackson, and it excited me. I like that. Artistically, technically, it talks to me. Then when I see people skateboarding in the street, same feeling. But I just practiced a little when I was a kid. I really not feel comfortable going on a board again. But just to play the game, why not trying? It's a good opportunity to try. Or at least to imagine doing skateboard. To imagine having troubles at the beginning, falling, etc. But little by little, progressing, starting to do simple tricks and enjoying. Here it's a skateboard example, but it could be just anything. Of course it's better to do it for real, and scientifically, it's better to check if the theory is correct. You may answer, of course I will like to do something I would love to do.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying it could help you to find the motivation. But as the main playfield of realotology is imagination, we at least can only imagine, for starters. Because just imagining doing something we like already brings some satisfaction, even biologically. There really are happy hormones produced when we imagine doing something we like, the same way they are produced if we were really doing it. So only for this reason, I think it was a try. To summarize, this first experiment's main goal is to perceive ourselves as an infinite entity, an universal consciousness incarnated into the little human we also are. But most importantly, this exercise is about exploring a definition of the infinite, because it's a key concept from which come most theories we will talk about later in realotology. We are reaching the end of this presentation video. You should now have a better overview of realotology and its potential. Next, I will cover various topics, give you additional games rules, more accurate description of the game's background and much more. Possibilities in this game are infinite, so you definitively should find something that talks to you. It will not always be as mystical and metaphysical if it's what you are afraid of. Some words about my reasons and motivations. It's not always that easy to start a new project, to keep going on, to make it grow. You know, I have this tendency to often see what's going wrong, and to sometimes forget what is going well.
Yes, sir.
On this project, I'm experimenting. I know I like doing it, it brings me satisfaction. But sometimes I also am afraid of doing something that doesn't interest nobody, something boring, that people will find me pathetic, incoherent, useless, pretentious and so on. The usual blah blah. I suck, it's bad, I'm losing my time and I'm wasting my life. And so of course, because of that, sometimes I'm stuck. The truth is, I don't know if it will be good or not, how people will react and will think about it. Actually, I just have fears based on past failures or on wrong projection in the future. For sure, when said this way it sounds a bit ridiculous. But I noticed it's a common behavior. I feel like it's what happened to most people starting to do something new in their life. This game is based on imagination, and it brought me itself the answer while I was preparing this video. The answer is, like said before, to imagine the best. Then we'll see, we just do what we can. What is the point on imagining what could go wrong? And so to lose motivation, to stop progressing, to feel bad just because of an idea, just because of what could happen. As far as I know, nothing yet happened. There are just thoughts in my mind, fears, and not a 100% reliable prediction of the future. I'm actually only imagining one possibility where things go wrong. I focus on something I would not like to see happening. If I'm really honest with myself, on the real situation, on my behavior, that's what I see. So if I can't stop thinking, I better should imagine a better possibility. If I have to choose between two imaginary things, maybe the best is to choose what makes me feel good. Sounds a bit dumb maybe, but to realize it, it's not always that easy. But it's possible, and it works. One thing I do to keep motivation when it's a bit too hard is imagining how the best version of myself would act. And now, If I was this ideal version, then I would do exactly that. I wouldn't be afraid to share my vision of life through a game, even if my ideas are fanciful. So I do it. Then we'll see.
Crick lived his life.
Thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this time spent together, and I hope you want to continue. Comments are welcome. It's always good to have feedbacks and it can help me for the next logs. Until then, I wish you a good game and to imagine many nice things. By the way, don't forget to imagine Realotology is extraordinary. Okay, thanks and goodbye to you fellows.
Remember who you are. What did he say? What did he say?
Nobody cares.